Chapter 1. The Interview. Nong Wine. Nong Wine? Dr. Ruang calls my name, dragging my attention back to her. Yes, I'm sorry. I exhale. I can't remember when I stopped paying attention to our session. My thoughts drifted away as I watched the heavy rain shower against the widespread tall window. The dancing trees and floating dark clouds created a captivating view that could easily be used as reference for depressing art. I love it when it rains. I love the smell, the soothing sounds, the coziness. The storm brings me comfort and peace. Maybe because it looks a little bit like chaos, so I don't have to worry about the one inside me. That's okay. Dr. Ruang adjusts her glasses. Where were you just now? Thinking of my sister. I didn't know you have a sister. Had. She died when I was 5. I think. How old was she? I'm not quite sure, maybe a year. What was she like? I don't know. A baby. She cried a lot. I remember her cries quite well. When you think of her, what do you think of? I return my gaze to the window, taking a deep breath and exhaling quietly. When we aren't speaking, the sound of the rain fills up the office, and I can think more clearly. Something small to distract me from my ever-turbulent mind. If she'd like me if she got to know me. Do you think she would? I blink, taking a quick glance at my fingers before lifting my gaze back to her. No. She smiles at me, a poor attempt to hide her concern, then begins scribbling on her writing pad. Dr. Ruang has a way about her, very calm, collected, elegant. She mostly dresses in neutral tones that match her deep brown skin. It was one of the first things I noticed about her when our video call session started while I was still in the United States. Everything else in her office is color-coded as well. The dark green carpets match the dark green curtains. All the furniture are different hues of brown except the sofas. They are dark green too. She color-codes her books and pens, as well as the ice skating figurines laid out on top of her bookshelf. I like that she's that way. Highly organized and structured. In some way, it makes me feel like I can trust her process. The rain has not let up since I left Dr. Ruang's office. I get down from the taxi and hurry into the bar where Plurng and Lucifer are waiting. As I step in, I move my damp hair away from my face. I have been growing it out for a while now. It's the longest my hair has ever been, with the tip now resting on my shoulders. Though it complements my high cheekbones and soft eyes, it has become increasingly difficult to manage. My eyes dart around the bustling bar in search of my friends. Wine! I turn sharply to my left to see Lucifer's giant self cheerfully waving me over. Beside him, a grinning Plurng. My smile broadens as I squeeze myself through the crowded bar. Lucifer's charming dimples match his incredible sunshine personality. It seems he got a new hairstyle too, fluffy, curly bangs. I like it on him. Plurng looks pretty much the same, expensive and uninterested in anything. Gee, what did they feed you in the States? Lucifer shakes me, pulling me into a tight hug. Snow and debt. We chuckle in our embrace. My turn. Plurng pulls us apart. I pick Plurng's petite body off the floor, spinning her around as we laugh wholeheartedly before putting her down and sniffing her forehead. Look at you, putting suburban dads to shame with that sweater, Plurng teases. She's never been a fan of my simple, minimalistic taste in fashion, seeing as she is the complete opposite. Plurng comes from money. The kind of money that would make anyone with $100,000 per year salary feel broke. With money like that comes an expensive taste in everything, particularly for Plurng, fashion. She's always dressed as if the runway follows her around, an overconfident attitude to match. With Plurn, you'd need to get to know her first, to see her humble, sweet side. Although Lucifer comes from old money too, his taste in life is quite mundane. However, it's probably because he comes from money that he can live as carefree and as simple as he does, not particularly believing in anything, aspiring to anything, or needing anything. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll become a suburban dad, carrying on the daddy issues tradition, I reply. You have to let me take you shopping for once, Plurn insists as we take our seats. Men with daddy issues are hot, toxic but hot, Lucifer says. You're saying I'm not hot? I chuckle. You're hot, but in a friendly, cute way, not in a daddy issues kind of way, you know what I mean? No, Lucifer, I do not know what you mean. I smack his shoulders. Women with daddy issues are hot. Men with daddy issues are just toxic, Plurn says. You have daddy issues, Plurn, I say. Case in point. Plurn flips her hair. I have you to thank for that, Luce, since you won't stop fucking my dad. Oh, Buddha. I shake my head with a grin. I should be used to how blunt and vulgar Plurn gets after knowing her for over a decade, but she still manages to catch me off guard. I'm not fucking your dad. We're dating. It's not casual, Lucifer stutters. Do you know how many men you've said that about? Plurn continues. In my defense, it's been a year, the longest relationship I have ever had. Never happened with any of those people. Still gross, Luce. Plurn, you said you were cool with this. Yes, I am, sorry. The waiter arrives and they order more wine for themselves. To keep myself sober, I order for soda. What do you think you're doing? We're all getting drunk tonight. Plurn snaps her fingers. I have that interview tomorrow, remember? I need a job. These student loans won't pay off themselves. I hate that you're getting a job. It's so grown. Please don't get a job. Plurn squeezes me from the side, sniffing my cheeks. We always said we'd travel after graduation, and we never did because you just had to do your master's and then a PhD. Now is the time, Lucifer says. Seeing as I'm the only one on this table without a trust fund, I have to work to afford travel. The waiter drops off our drink, and we all thank him with a bow. Just us, hoping flights across the globe, the experience we'd have, the memories we'd make. Plurn and I would split the bill. You don't have to worry. Guys, let it go. I sip my drink. What do you guys know about the Cheng family anyway? They give me psychopathic vibes, Plurn says. The second child, what's her name again? Elina Cheng? There is that rumor about her murdering her ex-husband. I choke on my drink. Wait, what? My eyes widen, wiping the spill off my lips. Plurn, stop! You do this shit all the time. Lucifer complains. I have heard stories, Luce. She's literally called the Black Widow of Chiang Mai. I'm telling you, if the family wasn't richer than God, she'd probably be in jail for murder or heaven knows what. Should I not go for this interview? I ask. I don't think you'll fit in there. You should go, see what it's like for yourself, Lucifer includes. Plurn scoffs, sipping her drink. If you end up in a box at the bottom of the Cheng mansion, don't say I never warned you. Shut up, Plurn. Lucifer shakes his head, smirking. I'm just saying, get off my dick, Lucifer. Plurn's distrust in people isn't foreign to me. It can easily be justifiable given her history with people befriending her for her wealth, then taking advantage. In the past, it saved me from multiple heartaches. I have always trusted her instincts. However, getting a master's and then a PhD in child psychology is expensive. So, My first instinct isn't to follow Plurng's gut feeling about a job that will make me debt-free. The Cheng family is one of the oldest and wealthiest families from Chiang Mai, with businesses spread across Asia, Europe, America, and Africa. After Elina Cheng, the second daughter of the Cheng family, moved to Bangkok 5 years ago, rumors spread about what went on behind those mansion doors. Theories about the sudden disappearance and death of her husband. That is as far as I know. I don't dabble in tabloid gossip. A good waste of anyone's time, if you ask me. Plurng, on the other hand, cannot live without it. When I discovered the Cheng household was looking to hire a psychologist for their child with a 1,500,000 baht annual salary attached to it, there just was no way I wasn't going to try. I sent in my application, and now I have an interview. The rest of the night dazzled with events as expected. There is never a dull moment with Plurng and Lucifer. From dancing on the bar, to Plurng making out with random girls, Lucifer stripping and allowing every person with a hand run it all over his 8-pack like he was a go-go boy. Lucifer's body is an alluring sight. He's gorgeous, and he knows it. Flaunts it. His confidence and sweetness contribute greatly to his sexiness. The whole night reminded me of our university nights. We were so wild, young and careless. Well, they both still are. I got up with the sun to do chores and make breakfast for Po, although he often insists I don't. I have missed having breakfast together. It became a big part of my daily routine before I left to study abroad, and while in the States, I found myself making breakfast for 2 on some days, even though I lived alone. Vitaya, Po calls. He's the only one that still calls me that, not that I mind. Sawadee krap, Po. I greet him with a Y before turning to pull out his seat. It's our first breakfast together in 2 years, so I'll admit, I'm being a bit extra. Sawadee krap. What is all this? Don't you have an interview today? He sits. I join, sitting opposite him. It's at noon, Po. I still have some time. He takes a spoonful of the cow, Tom, and I watch him chew, digging in for a second spoon. My lips curve up into a subtle smile when he begins nodding his head in approval. Po is a picky eater. If he doesn't like it, he just wouldn't eat it. His approval of the things I do has always mattered to me. It made me spend long hours perfecting so many traditional dishes, a skill I am most grateful for today. Quiet breakfasts have always been our thing. Po isn't a man of many words. I might have gotten that from him. After May left, it changed him in a lot of ways. Sometimes I see a glimpse of the man I knew as a child, but it quickly fades away and this distant but kind man I have come to love resurfaces. You aren't sleeping? Po asks, interrupting the comfortable silence. Are you having nightmares again? I'm sorry, Po. Did I wake you? No need to apologize. This new therapist you're seeing, is she any good? Yes, Po. I'm visiting the market today. Do you need anything? No, but we are out of laundry detergent. I'll get some then. He smiles and we continue breakfast in silence. As soon as we are done, I call a taxi and begin to do the dishes in order to burn time before its arrival. Normally I'd take a motorbike around town, but the Cheng mansion is on the outskirts of the city. As I rinse off the final dishes, I contemplate walking over to Po and striking up a conversation. We've barely talked these last few months. I wrote down another chance to know Po as one of the pros of coming home. Getting to know him better is something I've wanted for years. No matter how much I try, there always seems to be a wall between him and I. Sometimes it feels like he's afraid of me or angry. I cannot quite put my finger on it. All my life, he's been here, but not really here. It's left me with a strange kind of emptiness. My phone rings, and it's the taxi driver. I walk over to the sitting room, retrieve my bag, and bid Po goodbye. My friendship with Blerng and Lucifer exposed me to so much wealth over the years. I'm unshaken by the extravagance the Cheng mansion exudes as I arrive, but it's definitely a looker. I alight from the taxi, ring the bell by the gate, and stand back. Sawadee krap, Kun, a strong, wobbly masculine voice greets through the intercom. Sawadee krap, Kun. I bow, though I'm not sure he can see me. I am here for the interview. Vitaya Sutaya? A moment, please, he says, and I nod. Place a valid ID card in front of the monitor, please. I hurry back to the taxi and retrieve my ID card from my bag, then hurry back and place it in front of the monitor. After a few seconds, the tall steel gates buzz and slowly begin to open. Drive straight down, take a left and stop by the main door. It's difficult to miss. Thank you. I walk back into the taxi and we drive in. The beauty of the mansion begins to dawn on me as we drive through the pathway. Widespread green land, tall trees on each side of the narrow road. A few animals roam about. Rabbits, peacocks, squirrels. It's like a little town. I've never seen anything like it. We arrive at the entrance, and I alight from the taxi once again, thanking the driver. A bright, well-dressed, elegant man who seems to be in his early 60s or late 50s opens the door and steps out. Kun Sutaya, welcome to the Cheng residence. We exchange bows in greeting. Thank you, Kun. My name is To. This way, please. He heads back into the house and I follow. His demeanor is colder than my father's. He almost looks like a professor, well put together and sharp, moving quickly with strong steps. He leads me into a long, art-filled hallway, then into what seems to be a tea room where two other women are seated, waiting. We all exchange greetings and bows as I enter. Kun Cheng will see you shortly. He gestures me over to a seat. Coffee or tea? He asks as I sit. I'm good, thank you. He nods and leaves. My eyes begin to travel around the room. The mansion is a fine mixture of the old and new, decorated in brown and red hues. The furniture is made of wood, deep brown-colored wood, multicolored 1980s-style marble, and a curtain from the same era to match. Old art lines the walls in here too. These must have cost a fortune. One by one, the ladies are escorted out. Now it's just me waiting, allowing me more freedom to get up and take a closer look at the antique decorations. Kun. I turn away from the art I have been studying for over 5 minutes. Kun To stands erect by the door, hands behind his back. I'm sorry, just taking a closer look, I inform him with a smile. He smiles back, creeping me out a bit. Kun Cheng is waiting. He gestures outside the door. Oh. I hurry over to my seat and retrieve my leather study bag, hanging it over my shoulder, and follow him out the door. We walk down the hall and make a left turn, walking past another room before arriving at the end of the hallway. He stops by a door and knocks. Go in when you're ready. Push, not pull. I nod and he walks away. My eyes follow, watching him disappear into another room. I take a deep breath and exhale, turning back to the door with apprehension. This will be my first ever formal job interview. I'm prepared but not confident. I push the door and enter. The strong stench of cigar welcomes me. I can tell it is Cuban. I recognize the smell from university days when Lucifer took me to elite clubs for high society Bangkok men. They loved to smoke their cigars. It was just as hard to breathe in there as it is for me to breathe in here. The office's tall, broad walls are stacked with shelves filled with books. It is lit mostly with golden yellow aged lamps, making the office dim. I see her sitting behind her desk at the end of the office. The cigar in between her fingers causes a fog around her. She is illuminated only by the yellow light on her massive office table. As she smokes, she flips through a folder. I can't see much of her face from this distance. just her well-sculpted figure pressing against her white shirt. She rolls up a sleeve, her eyes still pinned on the document, as she tucks some of her straight hair behind her left ear. I haven't moved from the same spot since I entered. The sight of her is an enigma to me.
Kun Suthaya?
Her surprisingly soft voice calls, "Yes, Kun." I bow, "Sawati krap." She chuckles softly. It could easily pass for a purr.
Sawati ka. I can't interview you from all the way over there, Kun. Please, come sit.
I walk over with slow steps. When I arrive, she looks up at me and her face is revealed to me. Oval-shaped, full brows, deep red lipstick on her full plum lips. Every corner of her face has well-defined sharp lines. I can't clearly see her eyes, but I can tell they are almond-shaped. She doesn't seem like the kind of woman to go with an office like this. Her office is a bit depressing, but she radiates wonder. This isn't a conventional person. This isn't going to be a conventional interview, I think to myself as I sit.
Would you be okay if I smoke while we chat?
She asks with that tender, strong voice that vibrated through me the first time she spoke. I can tell she is crossing her legs from the way her body tilts to the side. Sure, I stutter, intertwining my palms under the table. She puts out the cigar in an ashtray sitting on the table, then picks up a remote and turns on the air cleaner.
Sorry if that made you uncomfortable.
It didn't.
It did.
A crooked smile stretches across her face. I look down at my palm, unsure if I should smile back or thank her. Her stare is a bit intimidating. I clear my throat instead.
I was intrigued when I received your resume, Kun. Aren't you a little bit overqualified for this job?
I hoped my qualifications would make up for my lack of experience, which was requested. She leans forward, placing her right elbow on the deep brown oak table to support her chin with her palm. I can see her eyes a little better now. It's even more intimidating. I flush. It's a good thing this office is barely lit.
You would just be a companion.
She says. I doubt that.
Why?
You described Hathai as an overly confident genius, interested in classical music, arts and mathematics, lacking social skills and empathy, who is also introverted and easy to care for.
I did.
Kun Cheng. That doesn't sound like a 12-year-old who needs a companion, and I think you know that. She smirks, holding me in her piercing gaze, strumming her fingers on the table in silence. I want to look away, but I fear it will give my nervousness away.
Why did you pick child psychology?
Children fascinate me. I think, if we get to humanity early and fix the damage, we might just save the world. We might just create a better future.
You think humanity is damaged?
I think it's sick.
And you want to heal it?
I grin and look down at my palms. I want to try.
What if it's too late? Look around you.
I think maybe you should have more faith.
Maybe you should have less faith.
Once again, I am trapped in her gaze, surrounded by nothing but silence. Only the gentle wheezing of the air cleaner and the sound of her fingers strumming on the table can be heard. I squeeze my fingers under the table and flash a pretentious, weak smile. Believing humanity cannot recover is just a lie people use to excuse their evil doings.
Evil? Do you think I'm evil, Kun Sathaya?
I don't think anything of you, Kun Cheng. I mean, I don't know you.
But you've already formed an opinion about me.
I look away from her, smiling to myself. I can't decide if it's the sense of debauchery I get from her, her intimidating stare, or the way she smiles each time I reply. It all makes me a little nervous. This isn't right. I have a PhD. Act like it, whine. Yes, I have, Kuhn, but it's just an opinion. Another round of unnerving silence looms. Is she doing this on purpose? To make it tough on me? To see how I react?
What do you do for fun?
I swallow. I read a lot. I love sculpting, card games.
What's your favorite genre to read?
I am not picky.
Romance or fantasy?
Why the two?
Dreamers like you usually go for one of the two.
She lowers her hand, and my eyes follow, watching her intertwine her fingers. They are slender and firm. Her nails are painted a darker shade of red, making the diamond bracelet on her wrist pop. Fantasy, I say.
J.K. Rowling, George R.R. Martin, or J.R.R. Tolkien?
I chuckle, and so does she, dragging my eyes to her perfectly shaped red lips once again. I catch myself at once and look away. George,
I would have guessed Rowling.
she replies. Our eyes meet and my cheeks warm up. I squeeze my bag hard this time. She doesn't seem to want to look away. The longest she has held my gaze, and I don't want to look away first. She leans in closer over her table and I hold my breath.
I'm a George girl too.
She whispers, and we both giggle as she relaxes back into her broad leather seat. She leaves her gaze on me, like she's studying me, analyzing me, like I'm prey, and she's predator, waiting for the chance to pounce and ravish me. I don't dislike it. I'd roll over in defeat if she tries to haunt me, or I might put up a fight, just so she doesn't win easily. I have a feeling winning comes easy to her.
Kun Sathaya. I will see you out.
She rises from her seat, and so do I. I was right. She's so well proportioned, a bit taller than me, but that might be the heels. Her white shirt accentuates her sharp, straight shoulders. I try not to look, but for a fleeting moment my eyes travel to her breasts, pointed under her shirt. She's left a few buttons open. I can't see any cleavage, but my body tenses up regardless. A black belt holds her plain work trousers to her waist. I stare at it as she walks over, but instantly return my gaze to her face.
Kun, what do your friends call you?
Just wine.
Suits you.
Thank you.
I'll be honest, you won't get this job.
I shake my head in surprise. Excuse me. I don't understand. You said earlier I am overqualified.
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't want to waste your time.
May I ask why? She slides her hands into her pockets and walks closer to me, standing directly under the golden chandelier above us. I blink, swallowing. Her brown eyes glow with wonder. The yellow light makes her beautiful caramel skin shimmer. And damn, her perfume.
Because I don't mix business with pleasure. And it seems, Kun, I like you. Really, like you. I'd prefer to not explore that.
I stand under her gaze, bewildered, dumbfounded, conflicted, and drawn. She smiles, running her eyes all over my face, and my heart swells.
I'll see you out.
She walks to the door. What if I told you I'm dating someone? I have a fiancé. His name is Lucifer. We are set to get married this summer. We are very much in love, so there is no way anything can ever happen between us. She turns, a smirk on her lips, walking back towards me as I hold my breath.
You're saying you're gay?
Yes, Kuhn.
You only date men?
Yes. She holds my gaze while closing every distance between us. I gulp. The smell of her sweet floral perfume mixed with the smell of cigar is sensually intoxicating.
You. Wine has to be the prettiest liar I have ever met.
Pretty? I clench my jaw, trying to hide how nerve-wracking it is to be standing so close to her. I don't think I am doing a decent job. I think she can see right through me. She's been seeing right through me from the moment I stepped into her office.
Do I make you nervous, Wine? It's okay if I call you Wine, right?
I prefer we stick to formal addresses, Kuhn. And no, you don't.
Already drawing a line, I see.
The side of her lips twitch. I clench harder, trying not to blink too much, standing firm against her gaze. She walks away, and I quietly exhale. She opens the door.
I'll let you know, Kun Sathaya.
I bow and exit the office. She shuts the door behind me, and my legs wobble. I now realize how nervous I was.